everyone, I'm Angela with Happy Little Stitch Shop and welcome back to our Guiding Stars quilt along. We are in the midst of a quilt along making this beautiful quilt called the Guiding Stars quilt. This quilt pattern was designed by Lavender Lime and it's featuring the fabric collection called Songbook, designed by Fancy That Design House for Moda Fabrics. Last week we worked on sections A of our quilt, and this week we are going to focus on the B sections of our quilt, and we have to make 4 of them this week. So I'm going to walk through step by step with you how to put together the B sections of this quilt, and before we know it, we are going to be done with this quilt. And the next week it'll be putting the whole quilt together, and then that'll be a wrap on our Guiding Stars quilt along. So thank you so much for joining me for this quilt along, and let's jump into our section B. So let's take a peek here. For section B, for the first step, we're going to need 4 of the large panels. So pick out the 4 large panels that you would like, and we are going to need this fabric cut into the dimensions according to the pattern. So you'll need a smaller size and you'll need a longer size. Okay, so the first step is you're going to add this to the top and to the bottom of all 4 of your panels, top and bottom. So grab all 4 of your panels, grab 8 of these sizes, and head on over to your sewing machine and just sew 8 strips, top and bottom, to 4 panels. And then I'll meet you back here. Okay guys, so I added the top and bottom strips to my large panel. I did it to all 4 at one time. So that will really make the process go a lot faster for you this week, is if you take each step that we need to do and just do it times 4, because we need to make 4 complete sections this week. So that'll make it go a lot smoother. You can just sit down and you can sew through 4 panels, adding the top and bottom border, and then you can sew through adding the sides to it, and it will make the process go a little bit faster for you. So now let's take a peek. I have the top and the bottom sewn on, and now I'm going to take the longer strips and I'm going to sew them to the sides of all 4 of my panels. So I'll do that, and then I'll meet you back here for the next step. Okay, so now we're moving on to the next step. We have our big panel all pieced together, all 4 of them with the borders on them. So I have my 4 panels done, and now we're going to move on to the next step for section B, which includes the small panels. So let's take a peek. Fussy cut out 8 small panels, and then you'll need this fabric in the dimensions set in the pattern. And we're going to add this strip to the left side of 8 small panels. So we're going to do this to 8 small panels. We're just going to put this like this. We're going to sew along here, press them, and then I'll meet you back here. So we have added the side border to our small panels to the left side. And now we are ready to complete the rest of section B. So let's take a peek at what I have laid out down here. I've got all my strips cut up. So these are the 2, we added the sides to the left, these 2 panels, and now we have these strips that we need to add in order to complete it. So this size is different than this size, so make note of that. You're not going to be cutting this fabric to all the same size strips. This one is different, as you can see, and it's according to the pattern. So all those dimensions are in the pattern, but it's different than the bottom. So what you're going to do is you're going to take this and sew it to this, and then sew that to this, and then sew those 3 to this, and all of this to this, to make one side here. Once all of that is done for all 4 of your complete sections, then we'll go ahead and move on to the next step. So I'm going to go and sew my 4 sections like this together, and then I'll be right back with you. Okay, so I sewed my panel together with my 2 small panels. So these are all done, all 4 of them are. And now for the next step, we're going to add this section to our big panel section. So let's take a peek. So here we are. We're going to add this small panel section to the left side of our big panel, just like this. We're going to sew these together, and I'm going to do this to all 4 of these pieces. to make them all into one piece, 4 separate one piece. You know what I'm talking about. So I will be back with you in a little bit. Okay, so we are moving on to our next step for our section B, or to our first step for the bottom portion of section B. So this is what we're looking at here. We are going to cut up 4 of this fabric in the size that the pattern states. We're going to cut up 8 in this fabric in the size that the pattern states, and then 8 of this size of the same fabric. Then we're going to add the top and bottom to this, and then we're going to add the sides to that. So that's what I'm going to do next, and then we will be back to finish up the bottom section of section B. So we'll be back to finish that up, and then pretty soon we'll have all of section B complete. So we're almost there. I'll be back soon. Okay guys, we're almost ready to wrap up section B. We have a few more pieces to put together, and then we'll put the top part of section B together with the bottom part of section B, and we will be complete for section B. So let's take a peek. We've got this one step to go through before we can piece the 2 halves together. So we've got this fabric in the size that the pattern talks about. We finished this. Remember, we added the top border and the bottom border and the side border. So now this is a complete unit that we're gonna sew to this unit. And then here, our star blocks from week 1 are making a comeback into week 3, and we're gonna add this to these 2. So I'm gonna go to my sewing machine, I'm gonna sew these 3 pieces together, and I'm gonna do it 4 times to have 4 of these units. And then I'll come back and I'll chat with you when I get this section complete. Okay, everybody, I got my bottom part of section B complete. It's all pieced together, and it's actually the top section, I think. I don't remember. But when you piece it together with the other section, it goes on top. So let's take a peek at that. So pay no attention to what I'm calling top or bottom, because I don't really know. But this is how it looks when you're supposed to put it together. So this is the section we just completed before, and this is the one we just completed right now. And now we're gonna add it to the top of the big panel section. And we're gonna do this to all 4 big panels. So I'm gonna take this over to my sewing machine. I'm gonna sew these together to all 4 of them. And then I will meet you back here to share my section B with you. So I'll see you in a little bit. You guys, how did it come together for you? Here is my section B, one of them, one of the 4. I think it's so pretty. I love it. These fabrics are gorgeous that Fancy That Design House put together. I love them. And now we have section B complete to go with our section A's from last week. But we will tackle that next week when we put together the entire quilt. So we have all the sections done now, and next week we'll work on piecing the quilt together and adding the border, and then we will be done with our Guiding Stars quilt along. I am so glad that you guys have joined us. This has been a fun one to put together, and I can't wait to get it all completed next week. So I'm looking forward to doing that with you. But thank you so much for tuning in each week and participating in this quilt along. I have a prize to give away for this week. This is a little prize. We're giving these away for joining our quilt along and for getting your quilt kit at happylittlestitchshop.com. And the winner for this week is Brooke Lakey. Congratulations, Brooke. Thank you so much for sharing your progress last week and using the hashtags happylittlestitchshop and Guiding Stars Quilt Along, and also commenting on our YouTube video. Thank you for doing that, Brooke. And your pieces look beautiful, and I am so happy that you are stitching with us. So we will do our final giveaway for next week. Please be sure that you use hashtag happylittlestitchshop and hashtag Guiding Stars Quilt Along, so Guiding Stars QAL. Use both of those hashtags as you post progress pictures of the quilt that you are making, and please leave a comment in our video comment section below our video to let us know how it's going. And of course, please be sure that you follow Happy Little Stitch Shop on Instagram or Facebook. Please join our Happy Little Stitchers Facebook group. Please give us a thumbs up on this video and subscribe to our Happy Little Stitch Shop YouTube channel. And I will be back with you next week to finish our Guiding Stars Quilt Along. And this week I will keep an eye on all of the progress photos that you guys are posting out there. Please be sure to post away and share all of your pictures of your progress, because I love seeing how you guys are doing and how this beautiful quilt is coming together for you. Have a fabulous week, everybody. I will see you next week. Happy stitching.